Dear Grace, good morning. It's Sunday, 10:12 a.m. I'm at the park. I don't see you here, but I'm looking. In the meantime, I realized that although I was inspired by Casper's site to do this, to do it this way, I didn't really talk about his channel very much. And since we're almost 40 episodes in, I probably should. I already just mentioned it a bit more. The one thing he does have on his channel is what he calls Sunday Fun Day. Normally he looks at UFOs, UAPs, paranormal stuff, and what he calls freaky deaky, whatever that may be. But Sunday he looks at funner stuff, which, since I'm stealing his idea, I'm going to steal that part too. So this is my Sunday Fun Day as per Casper's site. And what I'm going to do is I'll start reading out a bit of a movie idea that I've come up with. Maybe stole, whichever. Tomato, tomato. It's called A Comedy Cult, a conspiracy theory movie. I started off as a letter to you, Grace, because that's the only way I can write. And I think it's going to start raining, but I'm going to hang in here. I won't be able to write if it rains, but I can still talk. Dear Grace, back to the written word for this episode. Part 1, disclaimer. It's T-ball day, by the way, Grace. Disclaimer, the following is a work of fiction. I've used current individuals to write the story as I'm lazy and I don't feel the need to develop characters which already exist. I have no permission to use their names, likeness, or thoughts. However, I don't give a shit. They can sue me if they can find me. I know they won't this. I don't know what I was writing there, Grace. This conspiracy is positive, good for the planet, the people, all of its creatures. 1. Oh my God, these. Sorry, that guy's shoes are so bright I could see them from a mile away. It's a lime green like no other. Alright, back to the latest movie idea. A chubby, moderately handsome man named Ricky Gervais wakes up alone in bed. He yawns, then farts, then looks at his cell phone. One new message in his private account. It's probably Jane. She can wait. Ricky checks his social media. There are thousands of requests and likes for his posts. He ignores nearly all, but picks 10 at random that mention him with no likes. He gives them a like. Maybe it'll make their day, he thinks. It does, but he never knows. He doesn't follow up. It's more of a habit, the way he builds his followers. 3. After helping the needy on Twitter, Ricky checks his email. What does Jane want now? 4. As he opens the app, he sees the sender is himself. On occasion, Ricky does email himself good ideas, but he doesn't remember doing that last night. How much did I drink? He tries to remember. He can't. He can't remember sending the email or getting hammered. This better be good, he thinks, as he opens the mail to himself. Probably gonna fill that waiting pool by the end of the month, but hopefully you show up before then, Grace. These applause breaks aren't enough. I need in-person applause. 5. Talk to Joe. 6. Ricky speaks out loud to himself. Okay, who's Joe? Or which Joe? Joe Rogan? Why did he remind himself to call Joe? I know I have to. I've been delaying his podcast, but why would I write that to myself last night? Maybe I did get really drunk. Oh well, at least I didn't buy any domains. Number 7. Ricky forgets all about the email and doesn't call Joe. 8. A week later, and this time at home with Jane, Ricky receives the same email sent overnight by him. 9. Talk to Joe. Jane, Ricky yells at the top of his lungs, thinking she's in the kitchen. What? Jane responds as she sticks her head out of their bathroom. Did you access my email account? Why is there so many fucking trains at 10:18? You'd think they could rearrange all those empty trains overnight, but anyways. Did you access my email account? No, why would I? To fuck with me? Yes, I had nothing better to do with my time than fuck with you. Anything else? Or can I get back to what I was doing? What were you doing? You know you don't care. Fine. But you are positive you didn't access my email? I'm positive. You probably did it yourself in the middle of the night. I don't remember getting out of bed. I don't remember getting up. Do you remember me out of bed? I wish, but no. You're snoring beside me all night long. As far as I can remember, but who knows? Maybe I've been hacked. What does the email say? Talk to Joe. Joe who? Rogan, I assume. Well, since you still haven't accepted his invitation to be on the podcast, maybe it's your subconscious reminding you to give him a reason. Fine. But then who sent the email? Sleepwalking? I'm calling the internet company. Great. Are we done now? I can get back to me? Yeah, whatever. He calls his ISP and asks if there has been any suspicious activity. They say no. He asks about the email specifically. They trace it back to his own phone. Whoever sent it used his phone. I've been hacked, Ricky thinks. He's not worried about anything embarrassing being released. He already posts unattractive pictures of himself in the tub. To be safe, and because money is no object to him, Ricky goes outside and destroys the phone with the only tool in his garden shed. I guess he went back home first, but... To be safe, when Ricky arrives back home, and because money is no object to him, Ricky goes outside and destroys the phone with the only tool in his garden shed he knows how to use, a hammer. As he deposits the fragments into the kitchen garbage bin, he yells at Jane through the house, I'm going out to get a new mobile. Well, I guess he called the ISP, he didn't go to the ISP. Never mind. Continuity is fine, Grace. Keep going. Jane mutters under her breath, whatever. Ricky leaves before receiving an answer from Jane. Ricky buys a new phone, new number, new private email. He asks the clerk to install a VPN and the best security apps available regardless of the cost. He feels secure leaving the store but realizes he does need to call Joe and explain why he's declined his previous requests. Ricky calls his agent. Can you get me Rogan's number? Again, his agent replies. Yes, just get me the number, please. His agent reads off Joe's number. Thanks. Even though it's your job. I love you too, Ricky. Bugger off. So that's the start of the movie idea, Grace. So either now I'm going to pause and keep writing. I can think of something to talk about. Let's talk about it. Or I guess maybe I'll do a bit of the news. Alright, Grace, it's your lucky day. Because it's Sunday Fun Day, and I'm not going to make you wait between my long, awkward pauses. I'm going to write, and then take a break and read, and then I'll write again, and then read, and then write, and read. You get the idea, Grace? The sarcasm will remain. It's up to you to detect it. By the way, that guy that was sleeping in the park, they took his stuff away, but they waited a day, so they gave him a day to come back and get it. He didn't. Took it away. But I thought that was nice of them to give him a day. Alright. Movie idea continues. Ricky calls Joe. Hey, Joe. Ricky, my man, how are you? Oh, by the way, Grace, I can't do voices, but if you're following along on screen, you'll get it. It's the only way I can do this shit. Or if you have some spare time, you want to write a bit of flowery shit into this, feel free. Somehow, Grace, I think you have a much busier life than I do. I don't know why. Anyways, Ricky calls Joel. Hey Joel. Ricky, my man, how are you? I'm good. Sorry for the delayed response. No problem. Are you ready for the podcast? Maybe. I got an email saying call Joe, so I guess it's time. Email from who? I don't want to say. From yourself? Yes. How did you know? It happened to me too. And I listened to the email, followed its instructions. That's wrong, but fuck. Followed its instructions. Doesn't matter. Whatever. What did it say? How about this, Ricky? I'd rather not discuss over the phone, but my studio is ready for you any day of the week, and we can sit and talk about it. Recording or not agreeing. Recording or not recording. I'll explain when you get here. Ricky and Joe set the date and end the conversation. Ricky to Jane. I'm going to Austin. Want to come? You're finally doing the podcast? I'm not sure. Joe knows about the email. He got one too, or several. He didn't explain the details. Jane. If anyone knows, it's probably Joe. Agreed. Ricky and Jane fly to Austin. At the JRE headquarters, Joe gives his usual tour of the facility before sitting down with Ricky in the podcast chamber. Oh man, T-ball's getting exciting. It's almost like football. You got 5 kids running after the same ball, jumping on it. I'm afraid Gracie might have to be in charge of T-ball duty. I'll sit on this bench or picnic table from afar, and you can do the parental figure. Unless our kids are wild and need discipline, then I'll come. Otherwise, you know where to find me. Just look over your shoulder. Joe, before we start, Ricky, this won't be public yet. Ricky, why? Joe, because I have 2 podcasts, one public and one private for my friends/acquaintances. That is not spelled right, but it doesn't matter. Why? The email told me to. Wait, so we are rolling? Joe, yes, but we'll decide at the end of the episode if we release it to the private audience. So absolutely not the public? Not now, maybe in a few years when things settle down. Okay, Joe, you have me intrigued. Ready? Ready. I'm from Reading, so I'm always ready. A few years ago, I received a similar email. Mine said, continue what you're doing the way you're doing it. Pause break, Grace. And we'll pause. Try to pause. Alright, Grace. For some reason, every time I try and type, it gets colder. So instead, I'm just going to talk. And we'll do the news, but since it's Sunday Fun Day, let's do something different. Let's do the news. Instead of reacting as David, or Dave, let's play God. And what would God do? Instead of what would David do? Because David can't do fuck all. But let's pretend. Sorry, I'm watching T-ball spacing out. Alright, I'm not sure if AI analyst says plumbers and electricians' jobs are safe, but AI models like GP4o will impact anyone that only uses their head to do a job. If you only use your head and not your hands and heart, I'm sure AI is going to take over all of them. What would God do or say? Probably nothing. As long as you can get that universal basic income going. Although, change that to universal basic protection. If you don't need the money, then fuck you. It doesn't make sense to give a millionaire $1,000 a month when there's 1,000 homeless people on the street. I'm pretty sure God would agree with me on that one. Unless he's a prick, but I doubt that. Yearling's first brain implant patient feared device would have to be removed. And it was, so he shouldn't have feared it. I think the big G would be okay with anyone creating technology that helps people. Especially since Leon's not an asshole. He's not trying to make a fucking $1 billion on this. He's probably losing money. But what do I know? This three-word phrase will stop people from interrupting you, says public speaking expert. Shut the fuck up. That's 4, but... Shut up, cunt. That'll work. Pretty sure that's what God would say too. New research unravels the mystery of slow electrons. Fucking goddamn. I really hope that Terrence Howard just blows the fucking lid off physics all over the fucking place. Which is what I'd like to see him to do. Is create one portable generator that pulls electricity from wherever, whatever he's figured out. I don't give a shit. And just build fucking millions of them. Build billions of them, not millions. Imagine, Grace, 1 billion devices the size of a backpack that could power an entire house. Every person on the planet owns one. It would bring down the entire oil and gas industry. Or at least oil and gas for fuel. You could use oil and gas for other stuff. You don't have to burn it. However, let's see what happens to that one. Oh, yeah. Mapped life expectancy by region. Steve Wozniak. When I die, there are the moments I want to remember that don't involve co-founding Apple. Study finds Paleolithic people settled in Cyprus thousands of years earlier than previously thought. Got nothing. Life after coffee. Why quitting caffeine makes sense for your mind and your bank balance. I'm okay with 1 coffee a day, even though I shouldn't spend the money. But what can I do? Does mome actually help bees? A master gardener and professor weigh in. You know what? I think we just let some of these, leave some of these animals alone. They'll find their way. Incredible footage. Incredible. Casper site. Actually, his name is Ben, but incredible. His way of saying incredible, like incredible. Yeah, I definitely can't do impersonations, Grace. Incredible footage shows, but I can talk monotone. How many people can do that? Incredible footage shows moment, blue meteor lights up entire sky. Fans of classic horror can't believe screams in terrifying scene where a real after actress fractured her spine during filming. Thanks. People are saying specific scene in iconic rom-com broke the whole Hollywood movie system. What the fuck? Doesn't seem that interesting, but Devil Letter, written by possessed nun in 1676, finally translated. Wonder if they used AI. Imagine putting all the stuff the Catholic Church has through AI and then releasing it to the world. Now, if I was a god and I had that sort of power, that's probably the first thing I'd do. Go slap the Pope upside the head and say, release this shit, motherfucker. Probably wouldn't be a devilish letter written by a 17th century nun has been translated. Sister Maria something Della Jesus. A 31-year-old nun living at the convent in Sicily was said to be possessed when she wrote the letter. On August 11, 1676, she found it on the floor of her cell. Fuck. Can't read, then I know I need more coffee. I should just go buy some caffeine tablets. Alright. On August 11th, 1676, she was found on the floor of her cell with her face covered in ink, clutching a letter which was a strange mix of symbols and letters. It sort of looks like my writing. Historical accounts have suggested that Sister Maria claimed that this was a letter from the devil who was attempting to turn her away from God and towards evil. The message was 14 lines long, and archaeologists have tried to decipher the meaning for centuries and finally have started to make improvements for centuries. I gotta tell you, talking to Live Science London director Daniel Abate said, when working on historical decryption, you cannot ignore the psychological profile of the writer. Like we know anything from people in 1676. We needed to know as much as possible about this nun. They needed Tabitha, that's what they need. If the Catholic Church actually has a coronavisor and they're not releasing it, they're a bunch of cunts. They could have saved all these guys a lot of time. But if they don't, whatever. Back to the historians have said that Sister Maria was just 15 when she decided to devote her life to God and moved into the Benedictine Covenant. It be continued, the letter appeared as it was written in shorthand. We speculated that Sister Maria created a new vocabulary and using ancient alphabets that she may have known. Ooh. Be sure about what exactly this letter was written in. Researchers used software which scans shorthand symbols from different languages. They found that the nun's letter contained words from ancient alphabets such as Greek, Latin, Runic, and Arabic. Abate said, "We analyzed how the syllables and graphisms or thoughts depicted as symbols repeated in the letter in order to locate vowels, and we ended up with a refined decryption algorithm." Holy fuck. We thought we could just come up with a few words making sense, but the nun had a good command of languages. The message was more complete than expected. In addition to calling the Holy Trinity dead weights, the letter also said, "God thinks he can free mortals. The system works for no one. Perhaps now Styx is certain." In ancient Greek and Roman mythology, Styx is the river separating the netherworld from the world of the living. Abate says the letter shows strong indications that Sister Maria was suffering from mental health conditions in 1676. Wow. I wonder what labels they put on her besides nun. He said the image of the devil is often present in these disorders. We learned from historical records that every night she screamed and fought against the devil. Wait, that's it? End of the story? Okay. Well, that ends kind of suddenly, but whatever. Sunday Funday, I'm not going to try and criticize the shitty writing or fucking websites that have way too many advertisements. None of my concern. Just gonna freeze my ass off, drink my coffee, and then go. Two Alzheimer's sufferers claim to have beaten the disease by one major change. Well, there we go. So, we knew everything about these people's lives from Tabitha. Two Alzheimer's sufferers claim to have made single changes to their life to fight back against the disease. Let's see what it is. For Cece, she simply adopted a plant-based diet and added some serious exercise and wellness to her routine. That's interesting. Not the plant-based, but the serious exercise. This hasn't proven particularly easy, as she has confessed to missing veal cutlets, and she hasn't had her fave food in over 5 years. However, she remarked it's worth it, as meditation, exercise, and a change in diet has reversed the symptoms for her. So it is fucking possible. Or she's a fucking liar, and that doesn't look like a fucking liar to me. I'm not quite sure God would say that, but whatever. Simon has spoken about the importance of changing his lifestyle for the benefit of his children. I was very worried, he told Dr. Sanjay Gupta. I have a 3-year-old son and an 8-year-old son. It's really important for me to, as I get older, try and be there for them in the future. That's a good idea. There are many challenges in lifestyle, and you can do to hopefully. There are many changes in lifestyle you can do to hopefully push back. His determination to make a change to his lifestyle will soon disease. For the last 10 years of her life, she just sat in a rocking chair while on about 14 medications. Jesus. I'd much rather have a longer health span and then just go quickly. Agreed. Simon was on a mission, as if the Grim Reaper was peering over his shoulder. He was going to kick ass and take names. Preventive neurologist Dr. Rickard Eikenson, who oversaw Nicholas Cage, said during the documentary, "When I first saw Simon, he had a bit of a middle, like most guys in their 50s. When I saw him at 9 weeks, I did a double take. He was totally buff, ripped even." Dr. Isaacson admitted that he was surprised that Simon's biomarkers for Alzheimer's disappeared in just over a year following his lifestyle change. So why the fuck isn't this on the news? every single family suffering from this should be fucking reading this. I'm not gonna comment on that, because I think it's bullshit. I'm curious, Grace, if you actually listen to this or if you watch it. Woman was stuck in her Tesla for 40 minutes on 115-degree heat. Shares surprising fact about car. Man who was mauled by sharks after falling to sea describes what it felt like. Billionaire commencement speaker surprises graduates with $1,000 in cash. See? $1,000, Grace. That's all it takes to change someone's life. Billionaire Robert Hale surprised students with $1,000 cash graduate present after giving a commencement speech. Well, to be fair, $1,000 isn't going to do much for their goddamn student loans, but universal basic protection, Grace. Killer whales take single breath between dives. Fascinating study shows. Well, whatever. 5 hotels in Boston, they'll make your stay special. Green phonies? 3 in 10 buy healthy foods only because they're trendy. They buy healthy foods. How many do they eat? How many bags of chips did they sneak in as well? It's a problem. Everybody lies, Grace. Only Tabitha knows the truth. Surprising legal issues could shut down America's pickleball craze. What the fuck? Oh, the noise on pickleball courts. New research presented at a joint meeting of the Acoustical Society of America and the Canadian Acoustical Associations find that the rush to build these courts may have overlooked some serious noise considerations. Holy fuck. I don't like leaf blowers, Grace. But I'm not sure if I would complain about pickleball courts. I'm not really looking at this like a god, Grace. I should, but should all children struggling to read be diagnosed as dyslexic? I'm not dyslexic, Grace. What am I? I just don't give a shit sometimes. I think that's when I can't read. Cancer warning signs. 5, we did that one. 6 burger. Fine, this is what I'd do if I was a or the god. So I tell every government in the world that can do this test to do it. And all the other ones I mentioned for Tabitha as well. 3 dead, 5 injured in evening boat collision north of Kingston. Helicopter carrying Iran's president makes rough landing, Iranian media says. Iconic Halifax building gets new lease on life as arts hub. There's nothing like a kid just yelling mom. That poor mom just recognizing that voice. She's waving him over and he's like, fuck no, I ain't leaving this park. I'll just scream until you come to me. Bratty kids. Cosmic Geode, Hubble captures a birth of a sun-like star. Discover how MIT's sometimes help astronauts stand tall on the moon. Toxic downpour, forever chemicals rain on all 5 Great Lakes. Yeah, no shit. This really isn't that fun, Grace, but we'll keep going. Termites on tour, how climate change is bringing pests to your doorstep. That voice is just loud enough for me to stop. Pills in disguise, a surprising surge of fentanyl seizures. Breaking light speed, the quantum tunneling enigma. Stupid bad AI can't analyze this by voice. Only the transcript. One day, Grace. Or maybe I'll spend the $20 and upgrade. Probably not. Here's how you can maximize your government benefits in Canada. A foodie guide to unique culinary experiences in Peru. Never had a doubt, McDavid praises Skinner after huge Oilers win. Why is there sometimes a green flash at sunset and sunrise? I know that, but I can't remember. There's a reason for that. Can't be important. That's how my memory works, Grace. If it's important, I remember. If it's not, I don't. Luckily, I can still remember your face, Grace. If you don't mind. Newfound autoimmune syndrome tied to COVID-19 can trigger deadly lung scarring. New 3D map charted with Google AI reveals mysterious but beautiful slice of human brain. Bird taking a shit. Vampire finches and deadly tree snakes, how birds went worldwide and their battles for survival. Embrace the bog. Chelsea flower show expert champions flood-proof garden. Toxic forever chemical. The weekly wrap. Being young doesn't make you right. Student protesters aren't on the right side of history. The pro-Palestine / anti-Israel encampments on Canadian university campuses marked another week. You know, the funny thing is, there's nothing funny about it, it's just a waste of time. If they want to do something, go over there and fight. I know I've said that before, Grace, but I'm not sure what a god would say or do. Depends on their power. I'm assuming a god would have no more power than a human, or no more ability. Because if they did, it'd be pretty easy. They could just take out whatever side they feel is right or wrong, or they could take out both sides. Or they could take out the instigators, smite them. I like the idea of hand-to-hand combat. Line up everyone on the border, men, women, kids, whatever. Line them up on the border, let them duke it out, MMA style. An attack on a conservative icon. Roundtable on Parks Canada putting Sir Johnny MacDonald in crosshairs. We need to start thinking in generational timescales. The best comments, no shit. Think it all in generation. Recent immigrants are rapidly finding jobs post-COVID, catching up with those born in Canada. Searches for blind and eye damage surge in U.S. following solar eclipse. NASA becomes the first private spacecraft to land on the moon. Good. Send back some details. Grace, what are we gonna do? We're on the news. Fucking trains are going through the roof. A psychologist explains the issue with mental health hyper-awareness. I think I've been explaining that issue for about 40 fucking episodes. Grace. T-ball's almost done. I guess that's only about 30 minutes. Maybe I can do 30 minutes of small talk, Grace. Maybe I'll just pretend I'm mute. I'll be mute and I'll talk through you, Grace. If you don't mind. Let's figure this out first. A psychologist explains the issue of mental health hyper-awareness. In the 21st century, mental health awareness has undergone a profound transformation. Once confined only to hushed tones and whispers, conversations about mental health now take center stage in our daily discourse. Yeah, way too fucking much is the problem. What was once taboo is now celebrated as a strength, as a sign of strength and self-awareness. We've witnessed remarkable movements in destigmatizing mental health struggles, and have created a culture where seeking help is encouraged rather than shunned. Well, that part's good. This newfound openness has given individuals the courage to confront their inner demons and seek the support they need, which is a positive shift that's undoubtedly saved lives and improved countless others. Agreed, but we need to do it anonymously. In my opinion, Grace. Or at least have the option. I should be able to go to a doctor anonymously in Canada and get whatever I need without ever giving them my name. At least not directly. As soon as you get that DNA scanner, that'd be good. Because then you can just walk in, scan your DNA, all your files come up. But the name is whatever name you want it to be. What fucking difference does it make in what business is it of theirs? I'm just saying. That's why I think of things like Tabitha Grace. Alright, sun's out, clothes are coming off. Got 15 minutes left. Sunday fun day. Sure, I need to read any more of that. Radical quantum breakthrough could charge batteries in a snap. So you do that, plus get that little device Terrence is gonna make. What we need is a laptop, back backpack size device that can power a house. And then everyone Grace could start growing their own foods with hydroponics. And I'm sure there's some smart guy out there, or some smart girl out there, could basically automate that entire process. Even if it's just something simple like wheatgrass or whatever. Some sort of simple, nutrient-dense food. High in vitamins. Whatever food that happens to be, I don't really care. I guess if you talk like God, you kind of get your own opinions out of the way. Which, in a sense, what I've been doing for these last 30-odd episodes. Alright. A new AI discovery sure looks like the dawn of true machine reasoning. New Brunswick law grad frustrated after being unable to cross stage at his own graduation. Well, let's find out why. Should be quite the scandal. Yeah, I think they fucked up. If you're in a wheelchair, they better find a way to get you up on stage. I'm not saying they're cunts, I'm just saying they're... That's not right. When the first warm-blooded dinosaurs roamed Earth, the study abroad accent might be the real deal. I'm sure it warns owners of salt burn effect from using stately homes for filming. I don't know what that means. Why kids show like Coco Melon hamper critical brain. Oh, why kids shows like Coco Melon hamper critical brain development. Sorry, freezing my butt off here. Neuropsychologist, 4 tips to stop the cycle of neuro fucking train. Neuropsychologist, 4 tips to stop the cycle of negative self-talk. Your thoughts are not the absolute truth. Inside OpenAI's library. The psychology behind willpower. Bird brains. Jay show episodic-like memory. Love and foolproof conversation starters. Why forgetting is beneficial. We are very strong. I think I'm done, Grace. Alright, I'll go back to, I wrote a little bit more on this. I read that out. Then we're done, Grace. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember where I left off, but it's probably around here. Ricky, why? Joe, the email told me to. Ricky, wait, so are we rolling? Joe, yes, but we'll decide at the end of the episode if we release it to the private audience. Ricky, so absolutely not the public? Joe, not now. Maybe in a few years when things settle down. Ricky, okay, Joe, you have me intrigued. Joe, ready? Ricky, ready. I'm from Reading, so I'm always ready. Yeah, I did read that, that's alright. Joe, a few years ago I received a similar email. Mine said, continue what you're doing the way you're doing it. Ricky, how long ago? Joe, about 5 years. Ricky, and then? Joe, and then the podcast took off. The numbers kept climbing and the Spotify deal happened. Ricky, can you give credit to the email? Joe, not at first. What do you think it was? Ricky, why not just tell me? Joe, I'm curious. Ricky, I thought I sent it to myself while asleep or drunk. Joe, I thought that too, although mine came after a mushroom trip. Ricky, but it wasn't us, was it? Joe, no. Ricky, aliens? Joe, no. I'm not sure. The only thing I know is my phones and computers are not secure, no matter what I do. Ricky, I smashed my phone. Joe, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they, or maybe he, or maybe she, can still access your phone. As far as I got, Grace, and I'm cold and tired and going home. Sunday fun day is over. I'll have to change it to something else. We'll call it Sunday, try not to bitch as much day. How's that, Grace? Talk to you tomorrow.